Here are the latest results from the Republican presidential primary in South Carolina. With 85% of precincts reporting, NBC News has projected Newt Gingrich the winner. He has more than 40% of the vote. Mitt Romney in second place with more than 27% of that vote. NBC for political analyst Carl Jeffers joins us this evening. Carl, it's good to see you.
Good to be here, Robert.
We made history today as far as the Republican Party is concerned. For the very first time, 3 different candidates have won the first 3 primaries.
That's right.
We now have a race.
That's right.
What happened in the last 2 weeks when Romney was up 16 points?
Well, that's what's so amazing. Not only did Newt Gingrich win, but he came from a double-digit deficit within a 10-day period. We look at it now, it's still very close. We're right on top of it. But it's clear to me that the most significant factor was the debates the other night, particularly when Newt Gingrich was asked by the reporter for CNN about his marital affairs, and he responded with an attack that was sort of a scorched earth policy that brought the audience to their feet, and in South Carolina resonated with voters. And what they did was transfer that ability to fight back with saying, you know, this is who we need to debate Barack Obama.
Do you find it interesting that given the reports about his wife, and that came out with his wife and the reports of the second wife and what went down, that women overwhelmingly went for Gingrich in South Carolina?
Well, and I think the reason they did was because he demonstrated such a forceful response to the questioning. I mean, he really stole the debates the other night and proved what, in fact, many of us have been saying for many months, that Newt Gingrich was the best debater that the Republican Party had. The problem is he brings so much other baggage that if you think that the attacks on his character and ethics are serious now, wait till the Democrats get a hold of him in the fall.
Well, this is exactly what the Republican Party doesn't want, correct?
That's exactly right.
A Republican congressman said to me today, and I'm quoting, and so now we begin the great theater. You, my friend, have told me all along that it is an inevitability that Mitt Romney will be the Republican nominee. Do you still believe that? And do you believe this will be now just great theater in the push to become the nominee?
I think that Mitt Romney still has the best chance to be the nominee for one reason, and that is there are saner minds in the party who recognize what I recognize, that despite all of this, Mitt Romney is the only Republican candidate that actually has a chance to win against Barack Obama.
When you head into Florida, it is obvious with what happened in South Carolina that he did not connect with the conservative voters in the party. What does Romney need to do in Florida? And therefore, what does Gingrich need to do, assuming this has now become a two-man race?
Well, for one thing, and it's interesting you mentioned that, because I will tell you quickly, if you took Santorum's vote out and you took Ron Paul's vote out and gave Ron Paul's vote to Mitt Romney and gave Santorum's vote to Newt Gingrich, it would be a dead heat. So this is going to be fascinating. But I would say this, that the key is Florida is a diverse state. Retail politics doesn't work. You've got to have money and organization. You've got to advertise. That helps Romney. On the other hand, Newt Gingrich right now has all the momentum. Here's the secret, a little inside for our viewers tonight. The fact is that as of tonight, phone calls are going out right now to Jeb Bush. They want Jeb Bush to get in the race. But the other thing that's happening, Romney may have locked up the Bush family this evening to come out and endorse him for the nomination.
Breaking news from Carl Jeffers right here on NBC LA. Well, we look forward to hearing if that is true or not. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
All right, Carl. And a reminder for you, please tune in for the next Republican candidates debate, and they are becoming key, and you can see it only here on NBC. It will be during Rock Center, and that is Monday night at 10 o'clock.
South Carolina, but the former speaker has so much baggage. It even has cousin Janet's goons drooling all over the tarmac. All right, maybe we're exaggerating a little bit. So why are some predicting a Florida primary victory for Newt? Joining me now is Democratic analyst and good friend of the show, Carl Jeffers. Carl, it's a pleasure to have you back. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Good to be with you, Judge. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you, my friend. What is your take on where this race goes here? Santorum wins Iowa. Romney wins New Hampshire. Gingrich wins South Carolina. Let's say Romney loses and Gingrich wins in Florida. Will the establishment abandon Mitt under those circumstances?
No, in fact, I think just the reverse would happen. I think that if Newt Gingrich were to win Florida, you would see a panic attack among establishment Republicans throughout the country. They'd be bringing Dwight Eisenhower's descendants back to try to get everybody who's old line established or pure Republican to support Mitt Romney, because the reality is, Judge, the Republican Party is wasting a golden opportunity now, and somebody on the outside can see it easier than they inside.
All right.
One Republican insider this weekend said that if Newt Gingrich was the nominee, the Republican Party could lose 45 states in November, and Nancy Pelosi is having champagne shipped over already because they could take the House back and the Senate.
You are a Democratic analyst and consultant. Who does the White House fear the most? Ron Paul, Rick Santorum, Newt Gingrich, or Mitt Romney? Who does the president least want to run against?
I think that it's clear. The president and Democrats would least want to run against Mitt Romney for the reasons that I've been saying for the last year, that it's not just that Mitt Romney has the best chance to win in November. Mitt Romney has the only chance of any of the Republican candidates to actually win in November. And Judge, you know this to be a fact. Every week right now, President Obama gets stronger. And I said this several months ago, that a year from now, the president will be stronger than he is today. Look at all the economic indicators.
Last question for you. How do you address the fact that Mitt Romney can't seem to get a fire in people's belly, whether they're moderates from Massachusetts or conservatives from South Carolina? And if he can't fire up the base, how could the White House possibly think that he could be a serious challenge to the president's reelection?
Judge, that's the easiest question in America, and thank you so much for giving me the chance to answer that. The reason why Mitt Romney has the only chance to defeat Barack Obama is precisely because Republicans don't like him. The Republican Party is less than 22% of the voting electorate.
Good argument.
The greatest advance has been moderates and independents.
All right. I guess you're forgetting about your fellow Californian, that other Ron from the West named Reagan. But I'm going to give myself the last word. We'll have you back in a week or so, Carl. It's a pleasure.
But he brought Democrats in.
Thank you for joining us, you great Democrat that you are. In a key election year State of the Union address, President Clinton famously heralded the end of the era of big government.